G'day good people, Sawadee Cup. Dave here. Thanks for clicking on my video. Now you might be considering moving overseas long term. Maybe you're considering working remotely overseas and doing the whole digital nomad thing. Or maybe you're planning your retirement here in Thailand or anywhere in Southeast Asia or anywhere in the world for that matter, to enjoy a lower cost of living than in Western countries. But there may well be some things that you're going to miss about your home country. So, after living here in Thailand for just over a year, I'll ask myself that very question. What is it that I miss about my home country of Australia? Crickets. I got nothing, man. I'm joking. I love Australia. In the past, I have copped a little bit of grief from some people saying that I bag Australia, that I hate on Australia too much, but no, I do not hate Australia. Australia is a beautiful country, the people are awesome, and it was an absolute pleasure growing up in Australia. It was fantastic growing up in Australia. But what I do hate about Australia is what it's become. But I hate even more so why it has become what it has become. It's become a way over-legislated, unaffordable nanny state. Working class people are struggling to make ends meet. When you hear about people with full-time jobs having to live in their cars because they can't even find a place to rent, let alone afford one, you really seriously have to question, what are these politicians doing? It's quite obvious why a lot of most Western countries are in a very similar predicament. It's because of incompetent politicians. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video is about some of the things that I miss about my home country of Australia, because there are some. There are some things that I miss a little bit after just over 12 months of being in Thailand. And I mean a little bit. They could be the same sort of things that you'll miss about your own country. It's definitely worth having a think about the things that you're going to miss about your home country. Obviously, family is going to be one of the first ones. Not going to do the whole video from in here. I'm not going to sit here in the Dave cave and do the whole video. I'm going to go outside, sit out the front of the house and do the video from out there. My bike's in getting repaired, but that's another story that I'll explain more about my bike being repaired at the end of the video. Yeah, I've got a little bit of interesting footage as well. Anyway, let's go outside. So I'll start by mentioning some of the things that I miss about Australia. And one of the big things is sometimes I miss the ease of just going around the corner and getting Western food like fish and chips or chicken and chips or something like that. I mean, there's a 7-Eleven just around the corner here, and I can get ham and cheese toasted sandwiches and other similar Western sort of things, but it's not the same as, you know, getting good old fish and chips or chicken and chips or a hamburger or whatever, or Vietnamese roll I used to get from the Vietnamese bakery just around the corner from my place. I could find Vietnamese rolls here. I haven't tried them yet. I must do that. I have seen them here, but I will try them. But one of the biggest things about Western food that I miss here in Thailand is good old Villy sausage rolls. You might be able to get them here, but I've never actually looked for them, so I don't miss them that much, obviously. But I was in Bangkok a week or so ago, and I found these things that it's not similar. It's sort of similar to a sausage roll, to a sort of a Villy sausage roll, but it's not, if that makes any sense. Vaguely similar to a Villy sausage roll. I'll play a clip now. Alright, I'm at the Metro Mall at the Petbury MRT, and I saw these, they're called sausage pies. Now, about the only thing I miss about little old Adelaide is the good old Villy sausage rolls with sauce. So I saw one of these things. Now they're stone cold and they look nothing like a Billy's sausage roll, but we'll see how we go. It's good, but it's not a Billy's sausage roll. No, it most definitely was not a Billy's sausage roll. It's a good thing I love Thai food. It's a good thing I love my pad grapau gai, kai dao, or cow pad gai, or whatever. But there could be some things, if you relocate overseas, there could be some food that you miss. The other thing that I missed that I really didn't think about was music, live music. Not that I couldn't afford to go out and see bands much in Australia. It was it's just too bloody expensive. But what I miss at the moment, right now, in Australia, Cold Chisel, one of my favourite bands of all time. Cold Chisel are doing a 50-year anniversary Australia-wide tour. Now, I would have paid a lot of money to see that if I'd have been in Australia. Until I access my superannuation, I'm here in Thailand on a budget, so flying back to Australia just to see a Cold Chisel show was not an option. That's one of the things I miss, Cold Chisel. I'm a Jimmy Barnes fan as well, but his earlier stuff, his much earlier stuff. But anyway, this video isn't about music. And the other thing that I miss is cricket. I miss cricket. I could pay for a subscription service and watch cricket, sit in front of my computer or whatever and watch cricket online, but I'm in Thailand, man. It doesn't bother me that much. I want to get out and see this country. I want to, soak up the atmosphere here in Thailand. I don't want to be sitting at home watching bloody cricket all day. No. I can catch the scores every now and then. I can go on YouTube and have a look at some highlights of matches or whatever. It doesn't bother me that much, but I do miss it a little bit. It's nice to get up sometimes and turn on the TV, because that's about the only thing I did watch in Australia on the TV was cricket. Yeah, I miss cricket sometimes. And the other thing I miss as well, which is my own fault, small talk. Like small talk about cricket with workmates, that sort of stuff. I used to work with a lot of Indian people, and I used to like stirring them up, and sometimes they'd stir me up as well, don't you worry. But it was all in fun. But yeah, sometimes I do miss the small talk, like going around the corner to the shops, and when I order my Vietnamese roll or whatever it is, and having a little bit of small talk, bit of chit chat with the shopkeeper, and I miss that sometimes, because here I don't speak Thai, and I need to learn. I've got to learn, and I'm going to eventually. I have tried a little bit, but man, it's hard. It's the tones, but I'll apply myself, and I will do it. I'll give it my best shot anyway. But yeah, if I did that, if I could learn the local, well, there's a tip for you too. Wherever you move to, learn your local language. Don't be like me. I've been here just over a year and I've hardly learnt a thing. So yeah, that's my fault, that is. I could have that small little small talk, chit chat interaction when I buy my grapau guy or whatever it is I buy. I can have a little chit chat in the 7-Eleven, which I frequent quite often, too often. But yeah, I do miss the small talk in Australia, chit chat about whatever. I miss helping out my old neighbour. She wasn't exactly a young, well, she's still there, and she might be watching this video. Sorry, Susan. She's getting up in years, and she's had a hard life, and she has asked for help sometimes, and I have offered my help as well, like taking her to the shops or just just odd bits and pieces, things for her. And I do actually miss that sometimes. Yeah, and you know, we used to have some conversations as well, talk about all sorts of things. And it was good to do that occasionally, to have that little chit chat sometimes. And I do miss that sometimes, yeah. I mean, it's not like that I crave for that sort of social interaction. I absolutely do not crave for it at all, but I do sometimes miss it. I am a loner, I always have been a loner, and I enjoy my own company, and I enjoy spending a lot of time on my own. Obviously, I also like to spend a lot of time with my wife as well, so, you know, everyone needs a little bit of social interaction. We are, you know, that's the way we are as humans. We all need that social interaction sometimes. So yeah, you know, you might miss that sort of thing, the chit chat at your local shops, the small talk at work and at the shops and that sort of thing. And the obvious one, if you've got family, you're going to miss your family, and no doubt you would have thought of that if you have a very close-knit family. My family, well, my mum and dad passed away, and as soon as I could after my mum passed away, I found a way to move here to Thailand to be with my Thai wife. But I had no other reason to be in Australia. I do have a brother, 2 nephews and my sister-in-law in Australia, but we didn't see much of each other, so I didn't see much of him. I mean, my brother, not long before I left, he bought a bass guitar and he started learning to play bass. And sometimes I'd go around there, like probably 3 or 4 times in the last 2 years, I think. I'd go around there and, you know, we'd jam, and that was cool. You know, he'd be on his bass, I'd be on my guitar, and we'd jam. And sometimes we actually made something that sounds similar to music. Here's a funny thing, I actually started learning Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, just the basic melody, the basic chord progression, and a few little licks here and there in the song. And I went around to my brother's place, and you wouldn't believe it, but he'd been learning it on his bass. He'd been learning the same song on his bass, and I had no idea. So he'd be sitting there jamming Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix. At times it would actually sound half similar. It sounded half okay. So yeah, I suppose that I do miss occasionally. But yeah, we didn't see much of each other. Like, yeah, anyway, I'll leave it at that. And one thing I do miss about Australia, about Adelaide in particular, is sometimes when I'm in this area that I live in, it's actually part of Greater Bangkok. And man, when you get out on the main road during peak hour traffic, it is bedlam. It is just unbelievably busy, and people be crazy on the roads here. Yeah, sometimes I do miss the virtual almost zero traffic in Adelaide. Sometimes I do miss that. As I mentioned at the start of the video, I haven't got my bike, it's in for repairs, so I used to like getting on my bike and exploring and walking around the places that I explore, that I find. But my bike's not here, so I'm stranded at home with no transport. So the only walking I can do is around my local area, so that's what I've decided to do. Go for a walk around the local area. Anyway, enough dribble, on with the video. The other thing I miss, and I knew I would, before I moved to Thailand, for the last 7 or so years of my working career, I was a disability support worker, and I had one main client that I pretty much lived with for 7 years, and he's awesome. His name's Luke, and that's all I can say. I can't talk about him or show pictures of him or anything for privacy reasons. But yeah, I miss him. He was fantastic. I really miss Luke. My mate Luke, he's got autism, but anyway, I can't talk too much about him, so yeah, but I miss my old mate Luke, my old client. Strictly speaking, he was a client, but he was my mate as well. The other thing that I do miss, and I knew I would, is my old mate, my best mate, or my best mate, I should say. You know who you are, mate. Yeah, I miss him. We didn't see much of each other. He lived, oh God, he lived miles and miles away out in a bloody sheep station. So, but yeah, now he's moved back. Well, I wouldn't say in the suburbs, but closer to the northern suburbs of Adelaide. And if I'd have still been in Adelaide, we would have seen a whole lot more of each other. Yeah, awesome bloke. He'd do anything for you. One of the nicest people I have ever met. And it's been an absolute pleasure knowing him for most of my life. Some of the shit we used to get up to when we were younger, I don't know how we're still alive, but anyway. Yeah, I miss my old mate. One other thing that I do miss about Australia that I just thought of now, and I can't believe I didn't think of this before, is the weather. How do I explain this? I mean, I did not like the inconsistent weather in Adelaide. Like, it'd be hot one day and it'd be cold the next. You didn't know whether you needed a jumper or a pair of shorts or just a t-shirt and thongs or whatever to full-on rain gear and winter woolies the next day. You just never knew. But I do miss that feeling. I hate the cold weather, but I do miss the feeling of not sweating all the time like I do here. I'm constantly sweating. Like right now, I have a fine film of sweat all over me. You probably can't see it in the camera, but when I first arrived here, I'd probably be covered in sweat, but you do get used to it. Yeah, the weather, it's nice to sit outside in the cool. I miss that sometimes about Adelaide. But now, this time of year, actually heading into what they call winter, which it's not winter. The cool season is what I call it, and what a lot of people call it. They call it the cool season. It can get, like during the day, it might drop to as low as, I don't know, 22 degrees or something on a cool day, and overnight, this is in Bangkok by the way, and overnight if it gets down to 15 degrees, that's like, oh my God, that's an ice age. 15 degrees, and in the morning they're all going to work rugged up with like coats and jumpers and scarves and beanies and all that sort of stuff. It's hilarious, it really is. But yeah, they're just not used to cool weather here. Sometimes I miss sitting outside in the cool weather, not cold, but cool, you know, a nice, I don't know, 20, 23 degrees or something, sitting outside in that, beautiful. Now at the start of the video I did mention that my bike is being repaired. My bike had an accident, but I wasn't on the bike. In fact, I didn't even know that it had happened until, I don't know, a day or two later. I was sitting inside at the time. Noi was upstairs, I think. I must have had my headphones on and heard nothing. And someone reversed into my bike. I'll play the footage now. How they did it is just completely beyond me. I can't say too much because it's actually a friend of Noi, so I won't just. I'll say nothing, but you know what I'm thinking. The damage to the bike was I'll show you, I'll put some photos up. The damage to the bike was, as you can see here, a broken handguard, just some minor scratches underneath the footboard. The luggage rack is scratched. Variator cover where the belt and the variator is, and there's a little minor scratch on that. It's very minor stuff. The main thing was the handguard that's broken, and that was flopping around a bit. So yeah, I got on the bike, I think it was a day later or 2 days later, because I hadn't ridden it much at that point. I wasn't particularly well for a couple of days there, and I jumped on it, and I put my hand was sort of over the edge of the handguard, and it's like, it felt a bit sharp. I'm like, what is going on here? What's that? And I looked at it, and there was a bloody big split in it, as you can see on the photo. Look, the split there. And the mirror was like way out of adjustment. It was pointing almost directly right. The left mirror, this was, the damage was all on the left side. Yeah, the left mirror was pointing, you know, like way off, way out of adjustment. So I'm looking at it thinking, well, how the hell's this happened? I haven't fallen off the bloody thing. What the hell's going on? But yeah, the bike's in getting repaired. Noi said she told me it would be 2 weeks, but the actual repair, the workshop said it will be a week. But Noi just said to me 2 weeks, so I won't be after a week saying, where's my bike? I think that's her logic. Because I do miss it. I love riding that thing. Yeah, so as I usually do, I'll have a quick chat about the channel. Like, I've just had a chat about what happened with the bike and everything, as I sometimes do. Just have a little general chat at the end of a video when I finish talking about the topic of whatever it may be. The channel, I'm going to do something with the members area. In fact, I have done something. I think I've added 1, maybe 2 videos to the members area. One of them you may have already seen. For the sake of putting out a video, I put out an old video, like some old footage together of just Noi and I going out for dinner. And I don't particularly want Noi in my videos, and Noi doesn't particularly want to be in them either. So we had a talk about that, and I said, okay, what about if I put it as private, just so members can see it? And she said, that's fine. That's fine. She said she figures if people are going to pay a little bit, I think it's, I don't know, $4 a month or something, I'm not sure, to be a member. But if people, her logic is if people are gonna pay to be a member, they're going to be respectful, basically. I have had issues in the past with some people just being absolute dickheads, but anyway, their comments don't even get through. As I mentioned in a previous video, any comments that are just stupid like that, I just don't even let through and delete them and forget about them. They don't take up any space in my brain. But you know, it's not nice when you read a comment like that about your wife. I mean, if they wouldn't say it to your face, because if they said it to my face. Anyway, yeah, they're too gutless to say it to anyone's face, but you know, they're all keyboard warriors, aren't they, on YouTube? Yeah, so I'm going to do something with the members area. I'm going to make some, put together, I wish I'd have saved some because I had some classic bloopers. So from now on, I will save some like bloopers, outtakes of like me messing up the script, or you know, messing up the lines, getting my words all tied up and all that sort of stuff, because sometimes it can be slightly humorous. So yeah, I'll add that sort of stuff. And I'll also do the occasional more personal video that involves Noi, that Noi will be in for members only, and it'll, you know, a little bit of personal, a little bit more personal. I'm not going to tell my deepest, darkest secrets or anything, but I don't know. In previous videos, I have been pretty damn deep and open and honest, but yeah, I'm not going to do that to the general public anymore. That sort of thing I'm going to keep for members only, and I just think it'll create more of a connection with me and the members if I'm a little bit more personal like that. You know, if you're interested in becoming a member and seeing those sorts of videos, then please do consider becoming a member. I'd really appreciate the support. That'd be awesome. The other thing is as well, you're going to get access to every video that I upload from now on, including this one. You're going to get early access to it. Now that could be 30 minutes earlier, it could be 2 hours earlier, it could be 2 days earlier. I don't know, it will vary from video to video, but you will have earlier access to all of my future videos. So that's what I'm gonna do with the members area. I'm gonna try and make it as valuable as I can for people. I want to add as much value as I can. I mean, I really appreciate people's support, watching my videos and subscribing, and people reaching out too via email. Now, just lately, I've been getting a lot of emails from people that want to, you know, that want to meet up and all that sort of thing, but it's getting to the point now where I can't, because I mean, in the last, well, it's only been 2, but in the last 2 months, I've met 2 subscribers, and it's been fantastic meeting subscribers. It's been awesome, the 2 subscribers that I've met. But I'm getting emails, getting quite a few emails now saying, oh, I'm coming over such and such, I'll be there in, you know, December or January or, you know, whatever. But it's getting a bit too much now, and I think the only choice I've got now is to not answer those emails unless I am actually available at a specific time. I don't want to add the pressure to myself of trying to make time to meet X person when Y person has been, you know, I just don't want to do that. I have no issues meeting subscribers at all. I mean, if you want to meet up, do send an email. But if I don't reply to the email, don't take offence to it. It just means I haven't got time. You know, if I reply to it, then, you know, if you could tell me a little bit about yourself, because, you know, meeting total strangers for me is a bit weird. But, you know, if it's in the email, you tell me a little bit about yourself and what your connection to Thailand is and that sort of stuff, then, you know, I get to know you and what sort of person you are, that sort of thing, just a little bit in the email. Then, yeah, if I have time, I'll reply to the email and we'll set up a meeting. I mean, that'd be cool. Like, sit down and have well, I don't drink coffee. I drink Pepsi or water or the occasional beer, the very occasional bourbon. But yeah, if you want to reach out, by all means do reach out. But if I don't reply to your email, don't take offence. It just means I'm busy, usually with YouTube, or I'm busy doing other things like personal things. And if I do reply, then obviously that means I do have time and I'm interested in meeting up. So yeah. Now, I'm not going to. I wanted to go to Bangsaray for a couple of days, but now it's November now, and the peak season's starting, and I'm just not gonna. I'm not going anywhere basically for the next 2 or 3 months or whatever, however long peak season runs for. I don't know, because it's just going to be too bloody busy and expensive accommodation and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to stay put, go out on day trips on the bike, and do what I usually do, just hang around home and, well, close to home. Close to home, it could be anywhere to 3 to 4 hours away from home, but, you know, right around the local area. 3 to 4 hours of the local area? Okay, well, anyway, you know what I mean. Not going anywhere like overnight, not doing any overnight trips or, you know, like a week or 2 weeks or anything like that. I mean, I am on a budget as well. I mean, until I can access my super in a little bit under 3 years now, when I can access my super, until I can access my super, I am on a budget. Like, it's not like money's no object. But when I get my super is, I won't be wanting for much once I've got my super, let's put it that way. Yeah, so I am on a bit of a budget until I can access my super, so even after when the peak season is finished, I won't be spending like 2 weeks on Koh Chang or anything. That added up. The pricing for that added up. I think I spent maybe, I don't know, $1,500 or something. I'm not sure. I can't remember now. It would have been around between $1,000 and $1,500 Australian. Went on that trip down to Koh Chang in February, I think it was. But it was an awesome trip. I loved it. So yeah, maybe the odd trip for a couple of nights. But yeah, I'm not going to be heading off like I have done in the past. Not to that extent. Plenty of day trips, yes. Overnight trips, not so many. Except maybe with Noi, like on her work trips, because it costs nothing basically, or very little. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed and you've been following the channel for a while, please do consider subscribing, and also consider the membership thing that I just finished talking about. Alright guys, catch you in the next one. Bye for now.